Okay, we are completing the TIPS Tier 1 form, and you will see that it has changed from the old form if you use the old form. When you get your notes packet, you will see that I have already put in your school up there, and that will be a protected cell. Anything that you're not supposed to change is protected. So all the other stuff, then you just, you can fill in. So you'll see that I have a lot of forms down here. You won't have access to all those forms, just the ones that you need. The optional forms I will leave with you so that you have them if you need them. So there's your school name, that's my school, and I'm going to get my mouse going here so that you can see what I'm looking at when I'm talking and not just trying to track my little cursor. Okay, so this is your Tier 1 TIPS meeting form and your school, which I will already put in there and protected the cell. And then you're going to make a copy of this form because you don't want to type on your master because you're going to reuse this year after year unless we make some changes for next year. So you're going to put in today's meeting and your team member, or you're going to put in your team members before you make a copy of it because your team members are going to roughly stay the same for meeting to meeting. So you'll see that there are initials up there to identify what their position is. So you're going to type the first person's name. See, I'm not very creative with names. So there's Bill Jones, and he is the coach. So I'm going to put a C after his name. C coach up there. Data analyst is DA. Minutes taker is MT, and TM is team member. So I'll just put a couple more up here so you can see how that works. You will check off their names anytime that they attend a meeting, but you won't on your master. This is just before you, this you'll set up before you start your meetings. And so you have the same form to reuse. So here's another one, Rachel Williams, and she is going to be a minutes taker. So I'm going to use MT after her name. I just noticed that minutes taker and team member just have opposite initials, so that was fascinating to me. So then what I'm going to do is go down to the bottom. I'm going to duplicate it. I don't have to put this sheet in its own workbook. I can just duplicate and put it next to it. Then I'm going to want to rename it so that I know which month it's for. You can put in the full meeting date. You can put in just the month and the year, however you want to do it. But please keep Tier 1 in there because then you know which team meeting it was. You don't have to look at your schedule. So you can use numbers in there, like just use 10/14. I don't even know if the 14th is a weekday, but there you go. Tier 1, October 14. Okay, so now I have my new form, and now I'm going to start filling it out. I'm going to put my date in there, the time to begin and end, and the location. If it's a WebEx meeting, make sure you put the WebEx link in there. If it is an actual location like the library or conference room or room 38, put it in there. Okay, so now I come down to my agenda. Remember to take attendance, and then I'm going to come down to my agenda. So number 1 is team norms. I will establish those at the first meeting. Let's see, wait, my light's not there yet. Oh, you have 3 others. You don't need to fill in all 3 of them or any of them. They're just there if you need them. So, yeah. So I preset these so that you don't have to spend your time filling them in because most of them will be the same every time. So first we're going to go over our team norms and then we'll approve the previous meeting's minutes. So your team norms should be established at your first meeting and then review at subsequent meetings just to keep you guys focused and remember the expectations. And then you're going to approve the previous meeting's minutes. If you send those out ahead of the meeting, you don't have to spend time talking about it. Just ask everybody if they approve of the last time's minutes and check that off. Okay, then you're going to review today's agenda, which you're already 3/9 of the way through. I guess that'd be 1/3 in equivalent fractions. So go over today's agenda so you guys know exactly where you're headed for the meeting time. It makes the meeting run faster and smoother. So you check that off when you're done. And then previously defined problems, you're going to go down here. You're going to type in that precise problem statement. This can only be Swiss. This can only be a problem that was identified in Swiss. So you'll need drill down data, and your precise problem statement is super easy to write once you know how to do the drill down data. So you're going to say who, what, when, and why. Who, what, where, when, and why. Sorry, can't read. Okay, so and then you're going to do the solution actions. It's either to prevent, teach, reward, correct, extinguish, or for safety. I did put a link to PBIS World in there so that if you need to pick a new strategy, it's there for you and you can use that. So you'll want to write your, just a second. Okay, so you'll write your precise problem statement, do your solution actions, what you plan to do. Then in the next section is implementation. Has it been started yet? Has it been partially implemented? Is it fully implemented, or has it been stopped for some reason? Okay, then you're going to go over to effectiveness of solution. Include screenshots of your data to demonstrate the effectiveness. Did it get worse? There was no change. It's not a goal yet, or the goal has been met. Make sure that you add your data down below. And I'll show you where to do that in just a second. Okay, and then your next steps, you're going to write a new goal, document it below. Are you going to continue this goal? Are you going to adjust the goal? Document it below. And are you going to discontinue or do gradual release on this goal? Discontinue would be used if you stopped it for some reason and you're going to try something new. Gradual release is if the goal's been met and you don't want to just leave them out there stranded. You want to gradually release. Here's where you type your documentation. Document here will go away when you start typing. That's fine. It also has text wrapping in it, so the space will get bigger as you fill it in. So here's an example documentation. The team decided to try, and then whatever the name of the strategy was, maybe brakes are better or something. Okay, and then until the next meeting. So, and then you're going to put your drill down data. Now, I forgot to have some data up there, so I'm just going to grab something from my other screen. But you're going to want to make more spaces in there. I didn't add spaces just in case you didn't need them or I added too many. This can be a little tedious because they only let you add one space at a time. But you go up to insert. If somebody knows a faster way to do this, let me know because it's a little frustrating to have to insert one at a time. So I'm getting this screenshot. If you don't know how to use the snipping tool, here's how you use it. You click new. You go to whatever you're going to snip. Now you can't see this part because it's on my other screen. But I'm snipping just part of my class link. We're pretending it's data. And see, it's pretty big. So I'm going to need to add more spaces. I can resize it, but you want it to be something that people can see. Now you could also make it small and then just when you need to look at it, resize it because it won't hurt anything if you resize it. So, but I'm going to show you how to add rows. So insert row, one row below, insert row, one row below, and you just keep doing that. Insert row. I guess you could copy and paste the rows. Once you get a couple in there, it would go a little faster. But I think I'm just going to make my data really, really, really small so that I don't have to keep doing this because this is boring to watch. Just click on it, resize it, and deal with it later. Okay, so that's how you paste your drill down data. Okay, so we did previously defined problems. Now we're going to move on to new problems. So we're going to go down, and this can only be Swiss as well, and you need to show your drill down data. You may only do this from drill down data. And like I said, it's going to make it easier for the who, what, where, when, and why when you have that drill down data. So you're going to type in your precise problem statement. So Sam S. Is just want to make it something not like tier 3-ish, something kind of more tier 2-ish. So it's bothering. We want to use the actual terminology from Swiss. So is taking or stealing, whatever. Jump ropes from the girls. I always type the TEH. The girls at morning recess. For gaining attention. He's like flirting. We think he likes the girls. So who? Sam S. Did what? Taking jump ropes. When? At morning recess. I didn't put a where, so I'm going to add that in. On the playground at morning recess for gaining attention. Once I hit enter, it's going to wrap, so you don't have to worry about stretching out the rows. If you stretch out the rows, it's going to mess up your other columns, so just leave it the way it is. Okay, so we're going to go for a solution action. I'm going to add PBIS World into this section, but you can just scroll up too. It's right there. Now, I'm not going to take the time to look for exactly this problem, so I'm just going to pick one. I'm on tier 1, and there's a ton on here. So rather than picking the one that actually matches this behavior that we're talking about, I'm just going to pick one of the topics, and we'll pretend that that's what it's about. Okay, so if they're impulsive, the student may do these things. So you look over the traits of impulsivity, you click yes, if that describes your student, and then before you start, they say some important points. Try multiple interventions. Each intervention should be tried for a minimum of 4 weeks. We're not doing that. We want to get kids in the tier they belong in as quickly as possible. So if after a week you don't notice any improvement, I would switch strategies. If in a week you notice some improvement, so you're like, okay, we'll keep going, check on it each week, just kind of reflect on it, see if it's working. You're going to, and then if you see that it's working, keep it. If it's not, switch. As soon as you notice it's not working, try something different. You're going to collect and track specific data on each intervention that you tried and its effect. And if your data indicates there's no progress after a minimum of 6 months, we're not going to wait 6 months to move them to tier 2. We want to get them where they belong as soon as possible. So I'm going to look at redirection here. So it tells you why you should do it, when you should do it, how you should do it, and then there's resources and support for the technique. So you click on there. This comes up to a little Google search, 8 ways to redirect off-task behavior without stopping your lesson. And there's an article there for you. Sometimes there will be a video. Sometimes there will be, I don't know, just directions. So anyway, so that's how you would do that. So you're going to go ahead and put that strategy into your solution action, and you're going to say, so strategy name. I'm just going to type strategy name, whatever it was, impulsivity or stealing, whatever. So who will do it? So the supervision aides will have to do this one because it happens on the playground. And so you'll have to talk to them about it. You'll have to communicate with them if it's improving or not. By when? So you're going to put the next meeting date, and then when to report, or when, so this is going to start next week, or we're going to do it by next week. So we're going to get it going. And then when to report on integrity and effectiveness on October 14th. We're pretending that's our next meeting. I can add a second student there. I'm going to put any documentation and the drill down data there. Again, I'll add rows to make room and put my drill down data in there. I forgot to use my focus light there. Okay, so now we go back up to new problems and we check that off, and then we're going to go to system updates and general information. So we're on number 6, and we go down. Now, system updates and general information, that is like, do we need to change the traffic flow in the cafeteria? Do we need a new color of our cash or our tickets that we're using? Things like that. Anything that's not Swiss related, that would be a system update and general information. And you're just going to type in there. And it wraps around so you can type as much as you need to. So I'm just making fake words. Fee, fi, fo, fum, that looks like. Okay, and then you're going to type in the item that for your next meeting that you came up with during your meeting. You can fill that out as you're going through the agenda. Don't forget to check off your agenda items. So this one will be added to the other blanks on your next agenda, not today's agenda. You're going to, on the next agenda, you're going to add those to those other spaces. And then you're going to do your evaluation of your team meeting. Remember, if you click so or no, you have to say what you're going to do to improve things. And then, and then you just check off all 4 of those questions. And then down at the bottom, you're going to put in the next meeting, the date, the time they're going to begin, the expected time to end, and oops, I forgot to enter. Okay. And then the location. Remember, it needs to be a WebEx link or the actual physical location that you're in. And so then the next thing, if you decide that you want to print your notes for whatever reason, you don't need to print them and send them to me. But if for some reason you want to print them, there's some special considerations you need to make when printing. So we're going to do that next. You can tell I edited this together and it's not well edited because I kept forgetting things. Okay, so we're going to go up here to our print icon, and you'll notice that the information runs off the end of the sheet. So you need to fix that. So the way that you do that is you go over to scale, and rather than fit to page breaks, you fit to width. And you can print it just like that. Notice that now you have that nice left margin. Okay, but I don't like my sections split between pages. So like new problems, the title new problems is separated from the actual section. So what I do is I go even deeper on the page breaks because it's just how my brain functions. So I'm going to go over to set custom page breaks. Now your spacing is going to be different than mine because you'll have drill down data. This is actually the wrong form that I'm printing, but that's fine. It's just demonstration. So you're going to pull this one over to the right so that it's so everything is on the page. And then you're going to come down to where the old page break is and move it to where you want it. You can move it down. It just won't fit on it. It won't let you go too far. So anyway, and then mine ends right down there, but you'll have more pages because you'll have drill down data in there and whatnot. And you can just move that to wherever you want it to be for printing purposes. So, and then you just go to confirm breaks and you can see where it's split. And then from there, you can you're going to click next and use your regular print dialog to print it out. You can do it two-sided, flip on the short edge if you do two-sided for this. Otherwise it'll be upside down on the other side. And then that's all you have to do. And that's it. That is a tier 1